Pride and Prejudice. I read this as a young teenager, probably 13 or 14 at school. Our English mistress, she's a nun, promised us that we would love this book. First chapter, I thought, this is so alien to everything that a 13-year-old would be thinking about, you know, a woman being in need of a man to marry. But I loved it, I absolutely loved it. Once I got beyond that, the characters are fabulous, and Elizabeth Bennet is an inspiration to all women, I think. The wit that she has, the independence, despite the circumstances, and I loved it and always have done. I'd recommend people read it because she is an every woman, a woman for all ages, really. She appeals to every woman I've ever known. We share a love of Lizzie Bennet and secretly wish that we were her. It's just so beautifully written. At the time that I read it first, I didn't realise, you know, the difficulties that Jane Austen was facing, how her life was when she was writing it. I love it. Jane Austen is a force to be reckoned with. So I read Claire Tomalin's wonderful biography of Jane Austen when it first came out. So that is 1997, gosh, time flies. And it was wonderful because it let me into Jane Austen's life. So I'd read her words, I'd seen the BBC drama series, but for the first time really, I understood a bit more about Jane, the woman behind it all. It opened new doors to all of her books. I mean, I love all of them, but Pride and Prejudice has a special place for me. And I'd recommend people read it to get a depth of understanding, I suppose, beyond the wonderful characters and storylines. So yes, I'd strongly recommend it. Kate Atkinson is my hero. She showed me when I was not even really thinking about writing my own stuff that you can tell a story from so many different narrators and that there are no rules. She's one of a number of women writers who I greatly admire because it's quite frightening, the idea of writing a novel, and then when you read other women's writing you realise you can do anything. You don't have to stick to a formula or think about writing a certain genre. You can just go for it, have a story and tell it. I loved Life After Life. It was so clever and the characters have stayed with me forever. So I would strongly recommend this book. The other one that I loved of hers was When Will There Be Good News, which again is told by multiple narrators. As a former journalist, I've always told stories from different points of view. You have to, that's what you have to do. So it chimed very deeply within me, and I went on to write from many different viewpoints, thanks to Kate Atkinson. I'm putting Sister Ursula, IBVM, Institute of the Blessed Virgin Mary. She was my English teacher at a convent in Cambridge, and it was really Sister Ursula who switched on the light for me. She was a passionate reader and taught us how to love books, taught us how to read books and not be afraid of choosing something different. She was an inspiration. And always has been.